Hey guys, Zero Gaming back here, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about some Destiny 2 news. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a Destiny-related video, about a few weeks. But I thought since they released their trailer almost about a week ago, I'd cover it and let all those big YouTubers go through first, and then I would cover some of it too. So we're gonna start out with, pretty much back in here in Destiny 1. To cover the new expansion called Shadowkeep. They actually already explained it. If you guys don't know what the trailer is, you don't want any spoilers, this video is gonna have literally no spoilers, only talking about the trailer. But if you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. I mean, it's a pretty cool trailer, and the of people talking about the developers. But what's going to happen is they're going to be back on the moon, and they're actually going to use the same moon they had in the first one. They're actually even going to rebuild, the station, when you first come into patrol, that little line that goes across the planet. They're going to build that in, where the first Guardian is, where the first mission takes place. They're going to build, that too. All those temples are going to be there as it showed in the trailer. Also, every single last crater is going to be in the exact same place, which I think is pretty interesting. But I also think it's pretty easy for them to do this, by them, I guess, saying that they're going to literally take everything and then redraw it, or maybe have a way to transfer the game file into Destiny 2 and add what animations they want. But I think what they're going to be doing is just adding in what they already have. I think just copying down what they see for here, right here. And that's probably the best option for them, and that's probably what they're going to do. It's kind of interesting that they didn't have a moon. They had moons, like Nessus, Titan Io. They had moons of other planets, but they didn't have Earth's moon in Destiny 2. But we're just going to drive around, look like what's going to be in this expansion, because I know a lot of people actually didn't get Destiny 1. A lot of people just got Destiny 2, and it's okay, I'm playing Destiny 2 now, and they didn't even play Destiny 1, which I thought was actually a little interesting. When I ended up, looking at the statistics or game sales. So definitely more copies of Destiny 2 were sold, or players, if that, because a lot of players stopped playing after 1, and some people just stopped playing after Curse of Osiris. So yeah, guys, let's get into it. So it's going to have its same area like this too. I don't know if this is going to be exactly, they didn't show this exact area inside the trailer, but they did show what looks like, a hive fortress, and especially the place that we came in, when we first landed in. That area is going to stay the same for the most part. But hive, they actually look a little bit different. Thralls look a little bit different, but they do. It's going to be kind of interesting. They're going to have, I think they're going to bring Crota back. They're kind of hinting at that, they're back, the Dark, Erismorn. That would be interesting that they're bringing her back, which is kind of interesting, but it's believable to leave a character on them, bring them back, and it's ooh, Erismorn, let's go play this game. And they're still gonna have the same moon they always had, same gray this. But if you guys haven't gotten Destiny 2 or 1, Destiny 2 is kind of interesting because it doesn't even have any of this. Now, for those Destiny followers who have 2 but they don't have 1 and they've never seen the moon, this is literally what it looks like. This is basically it. I'm gonna explore more of it, but it's a pretty small actually area to explore. They don't have that many areas to explore in here. Most areas to explore are underground, in hive fortresses. So it's kind of interesting that they're going to have the moon. It's kind of interesting that the hive took over the moon too, but they took over a lot of the solar system along with the Cabal. So Hive and Cabal are not really good neighbors, if you will. They haven't taken over Titan yet, but they don't like water, so it's kind of interesting. So with all this being said, who's going to be on the moon? It's probably going to be Hive and Fallen, because remember, Fallen aren't dead, and Hive aren't dead, and it's probably going to be mostly focusing on Hive. Which did the moon always focus on is the Hive. That was always the big threat of the moon, what's going to happen to the moon. It's, it's Hive populated. So that's probably not going anywhere. They're probably always going to have, Hive and, such here. So that's not going away. It kind of looked in the trailer that they're going to build, bigger temples and, more structures, which does make sense, adding onto it. But they will have the same concept, of, how they want to build it. So it's probably going to look really similar to what I'm showing here. And that's what they showed in the trailer. So it's just going to look more Destiny 2 graphics, So nothing too much has changed. So let's talk about more about the enemies that could be on the moon. So the enemies that are on the moon, I kind of touched briefly on this, but the enemies that are on there now are basically just Hive and Fallen. There's no other significant form, unless the Taken. That's kind of it. They have the Taken there on the moon, so I mean, Hive Taken. So it's probably gonna be actually a Taken threat this time, most likely, because even though they say the Dark Hive and the Taken is the Dark, the leader of the Hive is Oryx. Well, was Oryx, but hey, you never know. Probably is gonna come back during this, and that's probably gonna be okay. And then Crota might come back. That's obviously a big thing here on the moon. There's actually a lot of things that are probably going to come back. As they hinted many times, they kind of said, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, Guardians, they don't think that they can kill this. Now, me personally, playing this, I think it's just their way of getting money. I think they're going to have an okay storyline, but I don't think it's going to be the best because they've kind of played all their additional routes. I think this is kind of like a last stand for Destiny 2, and then they're going on to make Destiny 3, hopefully, because they already did their 4 expansions, just like in Destiny 1, this time they did Osiris, Warmind, Forsaken, and then this will be most likely their last expansion, and then they will go on to make a D3 or hopefully a new game to kind of rebrand themselves and make this a new sort of thing. But what I can mostly tell from this is that we're gonna be facing this, and it's gonna be a lot more raids and just a lot more Hive. It's not like Hive weren't already in the game. That was a big part. Destiny 2 did lack a lot of just main Hive, I guess you could say rituals maybe. It actually focused more on the Cabal actually, because in Destiny 1 they focused nothing on the Cabal, and then in Destiny 2 they made all their raids Cabal at first, and Cabal were everywhere. They were the main threat. It was kind of interesting. And then Skyburners, they just completely vanished. And then we know the Orc says, that Dreadnought is still out there, even though it is defunctioned, as they always do in the it was in the Strike and the last mission. So even though it's kind of just floating adrift as a Hive breeding ground, it's more like this piece of land thing just growing out there. It's really weird, but it was on the it's outside of Titan in the Saturn orbit area in the rings, so maybe going back to that, if we're going to the moon, then it's going to be Hive related, so we might be going down to the Dreadnought, or maybe a portal on the Dreadnought, and then that's, it. So it probably won't be that big if it is there, but I know that it was a big deal to people. It's kind of interesting we don't go on Saturn, even though Saturn is a planet like that, but I think the Dreadnought is what we can aim for right now. If we're going to go to the moon, then we're going to go to probably the Dreadnought, or have some kind of more Easter eggs about it, most likely. And then last thing I'll talk about is, so we already talked about enemies. It's mostly going to focus on the Hive. They're definitely going to bring the Hive back, and it's definitely going to be more, I think they're kind of going to a Destiny 1, a scary, it's scary, the Hive, they're scary, they're going to take over the world, they're breeding on Earth, and their rituals, they're trying to summon, dark spirits, that kind of stuff. I think that is what they're really trying to go for, is this spooky feeling now. It's it's no longer the Cabal, it's these guys. And I think the Cabal might be on the moon as well. That could be a possible threat just because they were on Earth, so I mean it would make sense that they were on the moon. It's not that far away when you think about it from the Mars and things. So if they held Earth, they're probably gonna be on the moon now, and probably gonna have to fight them too, which will be kind of interesting. And I really hope we'll see how that is. But anyway, guys, I'm Zero Gaming here. Was here, get it. And thank you guys so much for watching. I make videos daily, and thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe for more Destiny 2 updates and content, because I do post every single day. I never really do Destiny 2 content as much, but maybe once it releases, I'll get more back into the Destiny 2 content. Thank you guys so much for watching,